Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Welcome to another Saturday stream. It is just me right now. Um, it is it has been an interesting day for me. Um, I had a brunch lunch with my mother, and I have a food baby, and it is a happy food baby. Um, let's say hello to the people in chat. We have Michaela, how are you today? How are you on this Christmas day? And we have Mama Ward. And we have Persephone. Hello. Maggie will be back after her premiere. Cool, cool, cool. Yes, we had um, pulled pork, barbecue pulled pork sandwiches, mashed potatoes, and white cheddar mac and cheese, plus a non-alcoholic apple raspberry sparkling uh, drink. It was very, very good. You guys had orange cranberry glazed ham. Excellent, excellent. Um, Also today we filmed the next episode of Sako's Mage Game, as luck would have it. That was a fun time. Hopefully she has it ready for Thursday for a premiere, and you'll see that it was quite lively and energetic. It was great. Persephone had lasagna. We're having our Christmas dinner tomorrow evening. Excellent. Um, I had this lunch with my mom so that we could have something on Christmas. Because otherwise our Christmas was over last Sunday. We did all the family thing on last Sunday, and it was a good time. It was yeah, good time. Very peaceful. Um, I'm not sure what I'm working on today. What's everybody else working on? I have had so many different tracks going on today that I'm having a hard time narrowing down on one. I've got several options, although one of them I think is not going to happen just because I've got too many more pressing things, or not pressing. I would say, wow, I'm having a hard time stringing together words. Um, it's not on the forefront of my brain, but it is, but it's not. The reason my original series is on the forefront of my brain today is because I watched Jenna Moressi's video on um, writing love interests. And every time I watch one of those writing videos, especially from her, I start thinking about my characters, especially from that series. Um, it it's not like, oh, we have a boop. It is a Chloe.
Hi, I am here. Hello. Happy whatever.
Happy Christmas Dodge.
Yeah. Yeah. My favorite right now is Happy Hanukkah.
Hanukkah.
Yeah.
Is
How's it
that a
going?
mixture between a Hanukkah and a Nokia phone?
Oh, I was more thinking the Kia car, but that also works.
Happy Hanukkah. It's like a brick and it can't be
Right.
broken.
Right. Does Nokia
I
make
don't
phones anymore? I literally only remember that brick phone.
you know, I think comparing the Jewish people to something that can never be broken is quite a compliment.
Yeah. And I think it's fair. I mean, all things considered, they have not had an easy run of it.
That is very true. So let's give that to them. They get
Yeah, yeah.
Hanokia.
Yeah, yeah, we'll do Hanokia now.
Persephone says, my mind is scattered. I may need to journal a bit to sort through my thoughts, keeping expectations low today and for the remainder of the year. That is fair. That is very fair. Oh,
Yes.
Devin's here. Hello, Devin. We should change the official slogan to that. Happy whatever.
Right.
That's the emo greeting.
Yeah. The holiday
Happy
shall not be
whatever.
named.
I still enjoy Chris Mahata Kwanzaa.
Yes. But there's others that it misses,
That is
unfortunately.
true.
Yeah.
I
I
think
so
when
like
that
I appreciate the sentiment, and I feel like even if your holiday is missed there, you probably also appreciate the sentiment. But
Mhm.
yeah.
I think that when the people who made that commercial made it, those were the only 3 they knew about.
Right. And that's the problem.
We have Mama Ward and Persephone saying hi to you.
Hello.
I'm guessing you're doing quilting.
I am. I did manage to get myself to the machine earlier, and I'm doing a log cabin, which is a very very common type of quilt, but I've never done any of them before. And so before I went into it, I pulled up like a tips and tricks thing. And one of the tips was to do like a little sample 3-pack of the strips to make sure that your machine is calibrated properly so you don't lose a whole bunch of width on your fabric as you're sewing, because these are like
Mhm.
1-inch strips. So you can like rapidly lose width if you're not careful. And I'm better than that, right? I don't need to do stuff like that. You know where
Let
the
me
story was
guess.
going, but I got so like okay, so this is a log cabin. This is a log cabin quilt. So you do these like individual blocks. And like what they were recommending I do is basically just sew like these 3 strips together just as a test, and then take them apart and making sure that they're right, or use some like scraps or whatever. And instead I got that like center, and then these 2, and then these 2, and then I got to this one before I realized that my scant 1/4 inch was actually a regular 1/4 inch, and I had to pull the entire thing out because I had already lost. Like on the first completed inch strip, it actually came out to be um less than 7/8, which is a huge deal when this thing is supposed to be 60 inches across.
Mhm.
Yeah,
'Cause you multiply that by how many squares?
exactly. By 60. And then like all of the fabric is like gross and bunched up in the back. And like if some of the squares come out properly, then like I have sized it. Yeah. Yeah. So I had to rip all of the seams out. So that takes 10 times as long, of course. So once that was done, I was like, I'm gonna go take a bath and come back to this for Jace's stream.
So, as you were coming in, I was talking about the fact that I have this issue when I watch, like, top 10 lists about writing things.
Hmm.
Like, specifically today, I watched Jenna Moressi's most recent one about writing love interests, and they
Okay.
make me think about my stories. And when I'm working on one thing and the videos make me think of another project altogether, it's just like, no, no, I,
Yes.
I have something else I need to be working on.
I feel like that is, I mean, that is absolutely a very specific and accurate problem, but I feel like that is just writer life in general.
True.
Um yeah, like with everything going on in my life right now, I've had to kind of step away from writing for a bit. And so of course, as I am doing this and just trying to like finish off everything that I'm sitting on and then like reevaluate where my life goes.
Phrasing.
What did I say? Oh,
Finish off everything I'm sitting on.
this is fair. I accept that. Of course, I have like 3 new ideas pop into my head that
Mm-hmm.
I cannot shake. That I'm like, I could just write these. I could just write these right now. Except like literally one of them is so flipping complicated that it's got 2 separate timelines and one of them is going in reverse. And I'm like, I could just write this right now. No, I literally can't. And it is 100% for sci-fi erotica. And I'm like, I should have timelines going in 2 different directions.
Well, I mean, that's how erotica works really well, is going in
Yeah.
multiple
Yeah.
directions.
Yeah. And like I'm not gonna lie, there is an ulterior motive in that, and it's to like make the scene that could be easily translated as like a terrible rape scene come at the end when you already know the entire story of what's actually happening there. But yeah, like I should not be workshopping this thing right now, and here I am.
Yeah, sometimes the brain is just like, how can I make this storyline work?
Mhm. Exactly. How can I do this? And that's what it was, because I'm really not a fan of like dark romance, which is the stuff that has,
Hmm.
non-con and stuff like that in it. And like
Right.
I'm not good with those stories at all. Um and the premise of this is that like, it's going to come out at the end that he was basically forced into doing this terrible thing to her. And like, again, I am so completely opposed like that. Like, if it is your thing, I'm not judging anybody who reads dark romance at all. If it is your thing, great. But it's not my thing, and it's not something that I want to write. And so I'm like, how can I really like the rest of this idea that I've come up with, but how can I prevent readers from like stepping into this scene and immediately assuming that he is a rapist when he is not? And of course, the answer to that is to tell that part of the story backwards. Yeah.
Still, I think it's still a challenge to get people on board with something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I was like, if I save that to like literally be the very last scene where she already knows why he did what he did, and understand the whole thing that like, and the concept is basically, because it's alien romance, um, that like he's basically a child that is forced into this, and she just doesn't realize it because he's an alien and he's much bigger than her. So she assumes at the time that he is like a grown ass adult doing this. Um, yeah, but yeah, so I just was like this is how I want this story to work, but like I don't want to. I don't want people to read it and think that that is what I write, and I don't want to attract that kind of reader and then have them be disappointed when it's not what I write.
Eva says, can't wait to read the reviews.
Yeah, I mean, my reviews are a hot mess anyways, because I have like a really bad habit of using tropes that people hate. And like, well, like the so I just hit 100 reviews, 100 ratings on Amazon for A Christmas Demon for Clara, and I'm very excited about that. I now have triple digits. It looks like a legitimate book. But
Woohoo!
like, I just got a review recently where they were complaining that she is a Mary Sue, and that's deliberately done. And she is the only character I have ever written who is a Mary Sue. The story is called A Christmas Demon for Clara. I feel like it's pretty obvious just from that alone that she's going to be deliberately a Mary Sue. Yeah. But like, I still get complaints about that, even though I've done everything I could to make it clear that they were going to be getting deliberately a Mary Sue character. Yeah.
Eva asks about your other idea, like, is that scene a culmination of expectations or a pitchfork for Chloe moment?
um, so that is a fair question, but at the end of the day, it's a Chloe has moderate OCD, and what is not advertised about OCD is like 90% of what OCD is, and part of that 90% is aberrant sexual thoughts. Like thoughts that like we absolutely don't want. And again, like it is a difference between like just being into a kink and like I am not into this at all and I am still obsessing about it. And that is where I am. So like that is a lot of my weirder stuff. It's a good outlet for it. I'm really good at writing pseudo incest. And that's how you kill a room right there.
Yeah, I don't know what to say to pseudo incest.
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly I don't know. Like I don't condone I don't know. I have weird feelings about it. Like actually in general in like the real world. What I am writing with it I am absolutely not okay with, but like in general, I honestly don't have an issue with people being in relationships with people that they are related to only by like legal status. But also it is completely banned on Amazon as like content because it's too close to actual incest.
Mm,
Um, and I think it's illegal, right? I don't think you can marry your step sibling.
step sibling? Well, that there's no legal relation there.
Like adopted sibling. I know that this is an issue because it came up recently with the LuLaRoe documentary. Because two, like the founder of LuLaRoe, two of her adopted kids are married, and there is a weirdness with that because of it. Like there
See,
are legal issues with it.
which is bizarre to me because the whole taboo around it is to prevent um
Yes.
incest breeding.
Yeah. So we did a really, really good job of making a taboo out of something that like people were totally fine with 100 years ago. Which I am in no way endorsing it. This is a purely academic conversation. But yeah, there's
Well, also, I I have this double standard, and I think it is rooted around that inbreeding um problem where if it's a homosexual relationship, I'm like, whatever. They're not
oh
breeding.
yeah. Well, yeah, because there's no kids. And again, like when you're getting down to the like very real problem of incestual relationships, there's that problem no longer exists.
Maggie says marrying step siblings is actually a thing that is against biblical rules.
Oh. Oh, okay. So maybe that's why we have laws about it then. Maybe that's why. I know that like I looked it up even when I was watching that documentary, and I remember seeing that like it was like this was a legal issue. Also, Merry Christmas, we're talking about incest.
Incest is a fun rabbit hole.
Right.
But when you think about it, there are a lot of topics that we as writers address
Hmm.
when and it's really hard. I know for me, it's hard to get around even addressing issues without me thinking, oh, people are going to think that I condone these issues.
Yes.
Like in the first book of my series, there is a lot of um, discussion and stuff centered on pedophilia.
Hmm.
It is not a pro pedophilia stance.
But like I know exactly what you're talking about, and the problem is that like not only are you being paranoid, like you aren't being paranoid by being worried that people are going to read this as you being pro pedophilia, because we see constantly in like major reviews where like people assume that a racist character means that the writer is racist.
Hmm.
So it is an actual problem, and it's not just a
And entire
not
Twitter
just a
mobs
worry.
going against authors for a snippet without the context.
Yes, yes, that too. Where like you're missing the entire story, and maybe there's actually like a very good reason for why this character is being presented this way, or why this is happening, or like what the not just why it's happening within the plot, but like the message that the author is trying to convey with it.
Eva says if a writer isn't being anti-racist enough in their everyday lives to counter it, I mean, maybe they are racist.
Oh, that's absolutely fair. But like, so that's the same. It is an issue on the same wavelength of my issue with people complaining about me writing a Mary Sue character when it was like a deliberate act. And like, yeah, like
Hmm.
it's not an actual flaw of the story. It's an intentional aspect of the story. Um, People will absolutely, and like Jace just said about, not like looking at a snippet and not looking at the entire picture. um these authors will be very clearly anti-racist in their messaging, um
Hmm.
but like because there's that one, you know that moment where they use the N word or whatever it happens to be, that's just a really good example to latch onto. But like because this one line happened in the book, they're being pegged as racist for writing it, when really they're about to punish that person for being racist, or what however it works out. Yeah. So it's an issue, and it's an irritating one.
Eva says, I don't know the author that was being referenced. I don't know. I remember the story. I don't remember the author's name that I'm remembering this from, but it was one that was getting mobbed by a snippet of the book.
I see it a lot, so I couldn't like pinpoint a specific example. Although I am now thinking about that, oh gosh, there was I believe she was Chinese American, maybe.
That's might be the same one.
Well, so hers was an issue where she had slavery in the book, and everybody was freaking out. Like people went on a rampage, and she lost her like 6-digit contract with this book because she had slavery was a major plot point in it. And people were freaking out that like you can't use slavery because you're not African American, basically. And like China has like a massive horrific history of slavery. Like this
Hmm.
is absolutely just a part of her culture and of many people's cultures.
Right.
So it's I don't know. I feel like slavery just in general is a weird one to touch because so many people do have and obviously most of it is not nearly as horrific as what happened here. Like I'm certainly not saying everything is on the same level, but that is a much touchier thing. And certainly you could tell from the dialogue that was happening over this book that people genuinely had no idea that slavery had been such a big problem in China's history. Um, and so she like lost her deal and everything with it. Supposedly it was an amazing book. We'll never get to read it because I don't think she ever ended up publishing it. That was
So
like 4 years ago, I think.
wasn't that the one where she pulled it because it was getting slammed so hard without it being?
You could totally be right on that. It was a while ago, and I only, as it was happening, I was following it. And I didn't really think about it since then. You could totally be right. She could have pulled it herself.
I think that's what I remember. It was basically
Mhm.
she pulled it because it was pre-canceled.
Yeah. And it was a fantasy story, which is like, I don't know. I feel like slavery is a fairly commonly used concept, idea, whatever word you want to use for it, in slavery or in fantasy. I feel like there's a lot of slavery in fantasy, so it was also just kind of weird in general that she got attacked for this.
I think now personally, because I know so many black people, I wouldn't touch the slavery issue in my work just because I know it's such a touchy subject for them. Like, I don't want to hurt my friends,
That's fair.
but yeah, and I mean, it doesn't have to be slavery against black people in the book, just slavery in general. Not something that I want to play with.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, and I do write a lot of fantasy or like alt. Yeah, fantasy. I don't need to clarify that word anymore. But like I write a good amount, and I do have like racism allegories, but I don't know that I've ever written actual slavery. I've written internment camps before, but I don't think I've ever written slavery other than like sex slaves. Like actual, like I've absolutely had like women imprisoned to, yeah, I've done that before, but that is a somewhat different topic than chattel slavery.
So we should
Oh yeah, we should be productive.
we
I
should do
literally have like
something.
fabric. You can't see. I literally have like fabric in my sewing machine that I just never actually did anything with.
Yeah, I think the first thing I'm going to do is I use a I write in a composition book, and when I'm transcribing, I use a chip clip to hold the book open.
Oh, that's fair. That works. Yeah.
So I need to grab the chip clip.
You don't have to be productive. And again, like I'm sewing, so like other than like getting my damn scant quarter inches correct, I'm not using too much brain power right now.
Oh yeah, you don't have to be productive.
Yeah.
You can be holiday productive.
Yes.
All right. So we will sprint in three, two, one, go.
Jace, your mic is live. Jace, your mic is live.
Oh, sorry. All right, that sprint is complete. Whoop, up to the face. I actually got some stuff transcribed. I am
That's
proud of
awesome.
myself. I did productive stuff.
Woo! I give me just a second, and I will show you what I did. Gotta press it first. Oh Lord, and like totally mess up the press because I'm talking, and like apparently I can't talk and iron at the same time. So that is what I have made so far. An itty
Nice.
bitty tiny quilt.
A quiltlet.
Yes, a coaster, a trivet.
Did anybody else get any work done? Or anything productive like a nap?
Naps are very productive. I absolutely like I was up too late because we had people over and everybody left by 8 except Shell, who was here until 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oof.
Um with family drama, and I accept that, but like holy shit. So like I woke up at 8 and like did breakfast and Star Wars holiday special and mimosa, and then like went right back to sleep at like 9:30. and
That
it
also
was good.
something similar happened in my house, but I managed to not get myself involved. Um, I had drifted off and was woken up by people arriving,
Oh, that's no fun.
people who did not arrive just to quickly visit. It was a 2-hour thing. Drop in.
That is a lot for a drop in. I feel like people should know better than to drop in anymore.
You would think, but it was like
Yeah.
7 to 9 PM.
Ooh. Ooh, that's terrible time for a drop in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like
And,
that.
because I had dozed off, I had bedhead galore.
Mhm.
They the place they were was between me and any mirrors,
Oh.
so there's no way I was going to go up into that,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
also I had to pee, and they were also between me and the bathroom. It's just like, "Oh my god." And then I started getting hungry because I had missed dinner.
Yeah. Yeah, like my roommate and his baby mama and their baby um stayed the night at a friend's house yesterday. So friends of ours are out of town and they've got dogs, and one of them needs fairly regular care. So like when they go out of town they need somebody to stay, like to house sit actually. And they had already left town when their their arranged house sitter um checked herself into a mental health clinic. Um, so like we had to like hodgepodge a schedule of like who was going to stay at their place. So my roommate and baby mama and baby stayed last night. I was told by them that they were staying tonight, and then I was told by Shell, the friend who was over real late last night, that they were coming home today. And honestly, they tell Shell more than they tell me, so I'm kind of expecting them to arrive any minute. That is my life right now. But so like they're packing up, getting ready to leave. Everybody is heading out. There's like half a glass of wine left in the wine bottle, and Shell's like, I'm just gonna stay to drink this and then I'll go. And I'm like, that's fine. And then SpongeBob 5 hour later.
5 hours later.
Yeah. Yeah. I am going to go ahead and say that, like, Shell just started going to the therapy that she has needed her entire life. And probably is just at a point where she needs to, like, get things off her chest to, like, other people than her therapist. So, like, I am okay with this, but also I work at 5 o'clock in the morning. So, like, I don't see 1 o'clock in the morning unless things are going tragically awry.
Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was rough, and I hope that I helped her, but it was rough.
So Maggie says, "Oh no, the dreaded, please leave so I can pee overstayed visit."
Yeah.
Because how many of us have actually experienced that?
Oh, I don't. Is this a guy thing? Because I feel like as girls, like, we just go. Like, hey, I have the bladder the size of a walnut, so I'm just gonna go keep talking. We usually yell between doors, or if the bathroom is down the hall, you just leave the bathroom door open. It's fine.
But if you are not wanting to be part of the conversation, and the conversation is taking place between you and the bathroom,
Yes, yes. Yeah, that is a different scenario.
that's a "Why are you in my house? Why are you in my house? Please leave my house."
Right. Please leave. Please.
4 hours of sleep is adjacent to adequate with a half gallon of espresso.
I wish that was true, and it's not. Especially with me, with my work, because I have to, like, be fancy with my hands. And
Oh, that's right.
the other day my boss had me do some calligraphy for him, just as, like, a side thing. And like, right before that I went on break and had a coffee and a 5-hour energy because I was having one of those days. And so, like, I'm sitting down to do the calligraphy and my hand is like, I'm fine, I can do this, everything's fine.
That was great with the camera dropping frames, so it looked like your hand was actually vibrating,
Nice, nice.
which is actually more akin to the effect you wanted.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Perfect. Well done. Yeah, I do. Usually I'm really good at getting rid of visitors. And it was not working out.
I am not. I have no idea how to end social things. As you've seen with when we have the whole group at after the streams.
Yes.
I need
Yes.
to go to bed. Okay, but we want to talk for another hour and a half.
So I do not talk on the phone. I don't like it. I
I
don't do
also
it.
hate that.
I couldn't tell you the last time I had, like, a casual conversation on the phone. And my friends know, because I have told them that, like, the reason that I will not speak to them over the phone is because there's no polite way for me to say, okay, I'm done talking to you now. Um, and I just can't bring myself to do that even with my friends. Okay, I'm just done talking. I'm going.
And it's really difficult in my family because it's just a lot of people that were raised on phone. It's like,
Hmm.
okay, I was also raised on phone, but when texting happened, I
Hmm.
was like, this is brilliant.
Yep. My mother just came around to the fact, like, she one day realized that if she called me, I would absolutely not answer the phone. And 20 seconds later, she would receive a text, "What's going on?" Um, and then, like, there was absolutely a period of time where I would text her that, and she would call me again, and I would not answer, and I would text, "Is everything okay?" And eventually she just realized that I was never going to hit that green button ever.
It's just not pleasant.
It's not.
Um, does your mom have the same thing that my mom has where she can't just tell you something? It has to be a story?
Yes. In all fairness though, I get it from her. um, so my mother, the way she tells stories, they start out with like clearly by the end of the story, all of the animals are dead. And then 17 minutes later, it turns out the cat was just constipated and he's fine now. That's always her stories, is that like medical catastrophe, everything is dying. Oh no, actually everything's fine. She also does that thing where it takes like 20 minutes to get off the phone with her, which I think is just like a boomer thing.
I think it
Like a,
is.
like a boomer mom. All of my friends with boomer moms, it's impossible to get off the phone with them.
We joke about the fact that our family meetings are like a family dinner at a restaurant is, you know, you get there, you wait 15, 20 minutes for the table, you sit at the table, you eat. That's like an hour and a half. And then it's like 3 hours saying goodbye,
Yes.
where the people at the restaurant are like, oh my God, get away from the table. We need to use the space.
I used to work for this lady Sharon who so this was when I was working festivals, and so there was a lot of like, we would be driving to festivals, we'd be in multiple vehicles, and so usually she and her husband would be in one vehicle, and then me and my friend Zach would be in the other vehicle, and so we had this game every time we were driving, and one of us got on the phone with Sharon. We would keep count of how many times we said goodbye to Sharon before the phone call actually ended. And I believe the record was 11.
Well, we're Midwestern, so it's not goodbye, it's all right.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
It's that I'm about to say goodbye, so shut up.
Yes.
Hey, Allie. Yeah, Merry Christmas to you. Um, yeah, so there's that. But yeah, there's times when I've got stuff going on, and when I was like, "Oh, do you have a second? I want to tell you something." And I'm like, "Okay, tell me. What do you need to tell me?" And then she tells me a novel. I'm
Yeah.
like, and I have to stop myself because I know she gets upset when I'm like, "Can you just get to the point?"
Yeah. Yeah. Just tell me what's going on. Just get there. Okay. The other day, it must have been 2 days ago. Uh, Ken, my roommate, was cooking dinner, and his baby mama's sister, who is older, she is in her 50s, I believe. There's a big age gap in the family, and she called. This is insane because she called him because baby mama didn't answer the phone. So she called him to be like, where's Kat? And he's like, well, I'm assuming she is either napping or dealing with the baby right now. And like that, just like, and then like, I will tell her as soon as I see her that she'll call you, but she's fine. She's here. I don't know. I'm cooking dinner. Um, that was obviously all that needed to be said. And like, it literally got to the point where he just straight up hung up on her. Because he couldn't get her to stop talking. And I believe she even called back. And like, not to be pissy about him hanging up on her, just to, like, no, I had more to say. Like, yeah, I know, but like, why? Stop. And yeah, that is absolutely me. Like, no, I'm gonna go by.
A second equals 2 hours in Boomer Mom
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah, very much so.
Allie says a friend's son likes to start stories that keep going through then this, but then he wanders off mid-sentence.
And then even if he does finish the story, there's no actual value to the story, right? Because that's what I'm used to.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, why did you just tell me all of this?
You've been talking for 20 minutes, kid.
Yeah. This is part of why I don't like children under the age of like 12. People think it's really weird that I am much better with like middle schoolers. Like great with high schoolers and totally fine with middle schoolers. And people are like, middle schoolers are disgusting. And I'm like, they are, but like, I could tell them to shut the fuck up and they'll do it. I could talk to
People.
them like an adult
Mhm.
and like they get the message.
That was the thing that people were confused about that with me too, and I'm like, no, I when I was working childcare, when I was working teen camp, which was the middle school
Mm-hmm.
kids, those were the best summers because they are old enough to talk to like adults
Yep.
and they're starting to be fun.
And like the things that they are interested in are more relatable.
Hmm.
A lot of the like shows and stuff that they're in, I can like I might not be into it myself, but like I can appreciate it more than like, Coco Melon.
we had
Yeah,
one we
it's
had one girl who would bring in scripts that she would download from TV, and
mhm.
she would bring in Will and Grace scripts, and we would do scenes from
I
Will and
love
Grace.
it. I love it. Um, they're like, and they're starting to develop their like actual weird. You know what I mean by that?
Uh-huh.
Like,
Yes.
you're not just like weirdo kids, but like you're starting to see like, oh, this is where that kid's gonna be like a little bit different, but in a cool way. And like, let's
Uh-huh.
foster this, or like maybe let's address this.
And they start saying things to each other that's like, I say that shit to my friends.
Right.
We
Oh, that
had
was clever right there. Mm.
like this one girl uh called called this other boy. Um she's like, okay, you can be an honorary Jew today because she was Jewish.
I,
and
I
it's
should hope that was where that was coming from. Yes.
and it's like, you know what? I allow people to be honorary gays.
Yes.
It's like I get that.
I with stuff like that, I always think of that meme. I think it was from Twitter, but it was somebody saying that like you can't celebrate Lunar New Year unless you're from an Asian culture or you're invited to something that is being hosted by Asian people. Because it's cultural appropriation. And then the response was somebody who's like, I'm Asian and you're all invited to this. Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, no, like especially, I don't know, especially something like Lunar New Year. Like, we know it's not like it's something that we have taken and like westernized. We know exactly what it is.
Hmm.
It's not like Cinco de Mayo that is like not even really a holiday. That like really America just like took it and ran. Like, I don't think it's cultural appropriation when you're appreciating that culture.
But I think I think it was last year. It was either last year or the year before. No, it was last year. Cinco de Mayo landed on a Tuesday, so it was Taco Tuesday and Cinco
Oh,
de
yeah,
Mayo.
I remember that. Oh, yeah, it was 2020 because everybody was all excited about how well all of the holidays lined up with like
Yes.
the days that they were best for, and then every fucking holiday was destroyed.
Yes. That's right. Oh,
Yes.
the holidays this year will be so great. Oh, you don't get any of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember like something was real cool with like Christmas and New Year's as well. Oh, I think would they have landed on a, would New Year's Eve have been Saturday night last year? Right? Because it's Friday night this year, right?
It goes backwards.
Right. So last year it would have been on a Saturday night, would have been New Year's Eve. So like that would have been real cool.
No, I mean, if you're going back in years, because it goes forward a day every year and 2 days on a leap year.
Right. And this year, oh no, this year it's on, never mind. I just had the calendar completely wrong in my brain. So, oh yeah. Yeah, no, last year it would have been on Saturday night because this year it's on Friday night.
No, other way.
So last year it would have been on Thursday because this year it's on Friday?
Yeah,
That's going ahead a day.
it goes ahead one day every year.
Oh, I thought it went back a day every year.
No,
Okay. I don't know why people were excited about that then.
I don't remember that one being a thing. There was something about Halloween. I th- I know
Was
the
Halloween
20
on a Saturday?
it might have been, but
It
it was
was. I
also
just
like a
pulled up the
full
calendar. It
moon.
was on a Saturday. Yes, it was.
So it was just like everything lining up. So
Yeah.
people were super excited about Halloween.
Yep.
Um,
And then it was all destroyed.
yes. And I kept saying to people, "You know what? I also heard it's going to fall on Friday the 13th."
Yes. Yes.
And people were like, "Oh my god, really?" I'm like, "Seriously?"
Can we stop and brain for just a moment? No? Okay. All right. Cool.
You do know that it's impossible for a holiday to be on both the 13th and 31st of the month?
I know there's a tweet floating around where somebody was complaining that Friday the 13th was on a Tuesday that year or whatever. And like that's not Friday the 13th then. That's just Tuesday, October 13th, I believe is what you are thinking. Friday the 13th isn't the 13th in October.
It's like, "No, honey, every month has a 13th."
Right. And there's all those ones where they're like, where they see like the cool dates, like the December 12th, 2012, and like, oh, cool. Next year we're going to have 13, 13, 13. Like, what?
It's like,
Stop think.
I was only half listening to you when you said Friday the 13th. I was like, "Cool."
Nope, no.
Yeah, unfortunately, Halloween will never fall on Friday the 13th.
No, no, no matter how hard we try. I mean, I guess we could observe it, but like that would just be weird.
All right, shall we timer again? Sprint again.
Yeah, let's timer. We can have a timer.
And it's trying to go without me.
Perfect.
And I'm going to use gold again.
It's
Because,
that time of year.
well, and a different timer didn't pop up in my suggested things,
Oh, got
which
it.
is how I always go to a different timer. It's
Inner
like, oh,
secrets there.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have multiple timers lined up. I just pick one from the side that shows up. All right, three, two, one, go. Boops.
There we go. Hello.
So I did multiple things during that sprint. I did some life things. Um, I did see that we had a bot, which Devin
Yeah.
sniped for us. Thank you, Devin. And I remember there was one earlier, and I looked back, and Jennifer swiped the one earlier.
I always find the bots really funny because like what is the value of like popping in to say Vask Tech?
Yeah, exactly.
Like at
I
least Big Follows has a goal.
true, true.
Yeah.
And Bex popped in to wish us a happy holiday and Merry Christmas. How is everything doing? How are the repairs going? If you're still here. If not, I mean,
I did finish the first square.
yay.
First square done. And then I realized that I meant to, during that last break, figure out if I was going to make myself a simple but decent dinner or order food. Um, and I never decided that. So I turned my oven on during that break, but I have not actually decided if anything's going in that oven. But
Fair
it's
point.
on. Yeah.
I used the restroom and had a couple pieces of chocolate and drank a little milk to make sure that my stomach would be able to cope with its own acid.
Yes.
And the chocolate I had, so I had dark chocolate I got one of those trays of Ferrero Rocher.
Oh my god, I forgot to eat my cheese today. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. It's fine.
Um, and I'm the type of person, see, I don't dislike dark chocolate, but it is lowest tier
That's
for me.
fair.
So if you give me a tray, if you have a tray of chocolates and tell me to pick one, I will avoid the dark chocolate at all costs because I only get
Is this
one.
like completely plain or are we talking like chocolate that's been jazzed up in some way?
Well, these are Ferrero Rocher.
Okay, so yes, in that case, I would go for the dark chocolate, but like just being offered chocolate in general, I probably go with the milk chocolate.
I would always go for the milk chocolate if given the choice. But if I am given a tray and someone's like, this is all for you, I will eat the dark chocolate first.
So that you have the milk chocolate to
Uh huh.
savor for memories.
Exactly.
Yes, I am the same way. I am also that kind of neurotic.
Are you the kind of neurotic that will separate out the gummy bears by color and
If they have different flavors, absolutely.
yep.
Although technically not gummy bears because I can't eat gummy bears because of gelatin. But yes, if a bag of candy has different flavors in it, so like if it is M and M's, I will just shove the M and M's in my face. But if it is Skittles, I will only eat like color Skittles together. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Even though like I know that if you shove all of the Skittles in your face, they are deliberately done so that that makes a pleasant flavor. It's just not the experience that I want.
And will you throw a handful of Skittles into the M&Ms and cause chaos for other people?
No, but I have friends who have done that many times, and that's why we don't leave candy sitting out.
Yeah, but apparently there are people who don't separate out the flavors of candies and just eat them,
Yeah.
and they think that the rest of us are weird.
Yeah, no. I'm going to go ahead and say that there is a very good reason for this, and that reason is licorice jelly beans. And I feel like everybody um who, as a child, had their world destroyed by a bag of jelly beans, and thinking that that dark one was grape, and then it ends up being licorice. We all have a a healthy sense of fear over different colors in our bags of candy.
True.
Yeah,
Although I did get asked because, see, my family has a lot of licorice lovers.
gross. Keep going.
Um, like, eh, you know, those people exist and they're all in my family.
Your family is the reason that I have suffered these nightmares. Got it.
But they, one of them's like, "Oh, do you like licorice?" And I said, "I am in the smallest minority of the people who are ambivalent
Oh, that's weird.
because it's either I absolutely love it or it's the vilest substance
Yeah,
known to
I
man."
don't. I feel like of all of the things, you are the only person I've ever met who's been like, yeah, I'll take it or leave it. I don't know that
Yeah,
I've ever met anybody who's been like that with licorice.
yeah, and like I said, it is the smallest minority.
Yeah,
Those of us who are just like, whatever.
it's terrible. I do like if I'm having Indian food and it's got aniseed in it, which of course anise tastes very similar. I'm okay with it in that situation as like an extra thing. But if it is a candy, I would rather die. Like I would literally die before I deliberately ate a licorice candy. Yeah.
If it's the only candy there, I'll eat one.
No. No, if it is the only candy there, I will help whoever put it there, and I will put it in the trash can for them. You're welcome.
Okay, so update from Bex. I'm still here. Roof got put up over the last 3 days. Yes!
Woo.
And now we have to wait for the windows to be ordered and the sheetrock and installation to go up. Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's a process.
Still have a massive cleanup in the front and backyard, including the shed and all its contents. We rented a storage shed unit. That is so hard to say. Storage
Right.
shed unit yesterday so we can save and store what we can salvage. Also, the storage unit will help us move stuff around while the repairs are being made on our home. Thanks for asking. Yay.
That's fantastic. Progress.
Yes, progress is so good. I am so glad to hear that you are not like out in the elements in your bedroom.
Exactly. Like it sucks that it happened, but it's good that like things are moving along and you're not stuck right now.
Right. Because I know there are households out there who would just be having to live with that for the winter. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
that room is closed for the winter.
Mm-hmm.
Persephone says, I separate out candies by type or color or flavor as well. Sometimes I will, if I don't do it for like OCD reasons with if I do M&Ms by color, it's just aesthetics.
Yes.
Uh, it's just I apparently I have time to kill and I want to make it pretty.
Right. And I would never do the thing where I like divided up an entire bowl. Like I know people will do that. Like no, I just as I am picking stuff, I am deliberate in how I pick.
Mhm. Beck says I make my own candy mashup: peanut butter M&Ms and Reese's Pieces and almond bark pretzels and dark chocolate pretzels all together.
Yes, that's perfect.
That sounds delicious.
Yes, those absolutely belong together, and I support that.
I could go for that mashup.
Yeah. Also, I'm a big fan of peanut butter candy, so yes.
Yeah. She says, "Hey, we were safe, hunkered down in the hallway. We survived." Excellent. I mean, that's the best we can ask for.
Yep.
I separate by color and eat the extra first, then all that remains is an equal amount of colors or complete sets.
Okay, so I have done that before as well. Like I'm not gonna lie and say that I haven't. I have totally done that
I think
before.
I have too.
Yeah. Because sometimes I do want those flavor combinations, but I want them to be exact.
I've had family members who will take apart a hamburger and put everything back on exactly so that every bite will always be the same.
So you've picked this up from your family. My family thinks I'm crazy. I was also that kid who did not let my food touch growing up, and that was extremely disturbing for my family.
See, I don't like rearrange the burger to get perfect bites or anything, and I will go out of my way to make the food touch because I like the flavor combinations.
So like I'm now at a point where um like as long as I have a salad bowl for my salad, and like at holidays as long as I arrange things properly, so like the stuff that cranberry sauce goes on is on one side and the stuff that gravy goes on is on the other side, then I can handle it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But, like, if the cranberry touches the sweet potato,
Right. I'm okay with that combination, but yes, like if the cranberry were to get on the green bean casserole, I would just die.
see, I don't do the green bean casserole because I think that shit's nasty. I don't like it's isn't it made with cream of mushroom soup as well as the french fried onions,
Well, so technically yes, but I make it from scratch.
which are 2 big no's for me.
Right. I also am repulsed by cream of mushroom soup, and that is why I make it from scratch. And actually, I don't usually do the French fried onions unless somebody is there who is really hard set on them. Usually I cover it with cheese instead.
Not bad. So, but do you use mushroom in your sauce?
I do use mushroom in the sauce. It's just not that gross canned stuff.
I am not a mushroom fan.
Oh,
I
got it.
think they
Okay, so
taste
it
like
is absolutely not the thing for you.
yeah, I don't like mushrooms and I don't like onions, so
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is not the thing for you then. I use baby Bellas in mine usually.
my
This year was
babysit
weird because I had issues finding them because that whole thing.
my babysitter when I was little would purposely mix up everything on me and my siblings' plates and force us to eat the entire plate. We are talking gross combos.
That's like abuse right there.
Yeah. See, I understand when it's like when the edge of something is touching something else and the adult's like, "No, you are not going to refuse the plate, just fucking eat it."
Oh, like I just won't eat that part of it.
But like deliberately mixing it all together, no, no.
Yes. Like that to me sounds exactly like how I end up being even pickier of an eater.
Mhm.
Kind of like how and again, like every time I tell this story, it like gets even weirder and weirder in my head. But growing up, we ate a lot of Chinese takeaway, and my brother decided that I was not allowed to eat Chinese food if I wasn't eating it with chopsticks. And again, like the older I get, the weirder it is that my parents allowed my brother to dictate this rule on me that effectively meant that for like 20 years of my life, every single time we got Chinese food, I got shrimp with broccoli because I knew I could eat it comfortably with chopsticks.
So What is Thanksgiving podge? Oh, everything all in one pot. All the leftovers, add chicken and turkey and chicken broth, simmered all the way down for a yummy stew. But do you put all the sweets in there?
Right, that was exactly what I was thinking. Like a lot of the things, absolutely, you can throw into that pot, but there
Hmm.
are things like cranberry sauce and sweet potatoes that no, absolutely do not do that. Those weird 50s marshmallow salads.
If you throw the sweets in there, then it is one of those 50s freak show
This is fair.
marshmallows.
Oh my god. So like then like all we gotta do is throw some gelatin in and then it's
Exactly.
stick. Oh my god, yeah, like what if you have deviled eggs? Do you throw well no, never mind. That's a really dumb question because there's no such thing as a leftover deviled egg. Never
Exactly. I
mind.
was gonna say the same
That's
thing.
fine. That was dumb. That was dumb where my brain
Devil
just
eggs
went.
don't survive dinner.
Right.
Um, but yeah, when I saw this about what the babysitter did,
Yeah.
my brain said, "How did you not become a supervillain?" And then
Right.
I saw this, and I said, then I saw this, and I said, "Oh, you did."
Right.
Yep, it consists of candy yams, cranberries, stuffing, pumpkin pie, wet dressing,
Holy
green
shit,
beans.
no. No, I am not okay with this.
Yep, the babysitter did turn you into a supervillain.
Yeah. Wow. We never knew. God, wait, the pies? Oh my god. I I my brain is trying to make peace with this and it's not. My brain is absolutely not putting this together.
Yeah, that is, you know what I call that combination?
Aggressive.
I call that post-digestion.
Right.
Bleh.
Yeah, definitely a let me help you throw this out. And I am super all about leftovers. I am all for like the leftover sandwiches and stuff like that. But like not that. But
I
like we
will do
absolutely finish off all of our leftovers.
I would do anything for lunch, but I won't do that.
Right. Like I'll just keep them separate, thank you. um yeah.
Yeah, see,
And like
that's
I'm
how I
totally
do it.
happy eating like
I
mashed potatoes 4 days in a row.
I just eat the meal as itself again for leftovers
Yeah, exactly. Or I might shove it between two pieces of bread, depending on what exactly is there.
and put the moist maker in the middle,
Yeah.
and then yell at the other paleontologists and threaten their lives. Yeah. Yeah, she never has deviled eggs left over either.
No. Oh god, now I'm picturing like pepper jelly getting thrown into this because that's usually part of our holiday meals. Uh
Actually, on the with the savory stuff, that would be good as, like, a spread on the
oh,
sandwich.
well, yeah. Yeah, you're right. I guess pepper jelly really kind of functions the same way that cranberry sauce does. I mean, obviously it's a different flavor profile, but like it kind of functions the same way.
Is pepper jelly sweet? I thought it was, like, a spicy.
No, pepper jelly is sweet. Pepper jelly is a
Oh, okay.
jelly. It is very much a jelly. It will. I mean, a lot of times it's not even spicy. It's yeah. I honestly like I can't describe it except that like in the South there's that thing where they just pickle every single thing, but like a lot of it is stuff that shouldn't be pickled, so it ends up just being like real sugary or really vinegary like watermelon rind jelly. is good, but it just is sugar. Like it really, like, why did we save this thing to do this when we could have used that sugar in another way? I don't think that this has any nutritional merit. But like we do it.
I think that goes back to just poor living in the South and having to use everything.
Yes, it is just like where it's confusing to me. Yes, I 100% agree with that. But like, sugar cost money, and that was like a ton of sugar. I could understand like boiling it and using it, I don't know, as like a soup, like wintermelon soup where you throw that husk in. Like I could absolutely see taking a soup and throwing watermelon rinds into it along with everything else just to give it more substance.
Oh yeah,
Um yeah. What were you gonna
because
say?
it wouldn't add much flavor, would it?
No, it would just be like solid matter in it.
Yeah,
It would basically be a potato,
then
which I
that would
love.
make
Don't think
all
that
the
I'm
sense
hating on potatoes, but potatoes don't have a whole lot of flavor on their own. That's what's so great about potatoes.
until you add the butter and the salt and pepper.
We're right. And then they're delicious because they taste like butter, salt, and pepper.
Potatoes are just a butter vehicle.
Yeah,
So is
yeah,
bread.
exactly. Yeah.
So many
And we
things.
love them. Like carbs are great vehicles.
Oh, I think I'm a closet Paula Deen. We're just gonna have deep fried butter with butter on the side, y'all.
Oh, right. I I made I don't know. I watched British baking show and had stupid ideas because of it. So I made panettone the other day. And that was two whole ass sticks of butter. And I was like, this is a lot. But like, okay. But then like that recipe I followed, I feel like I should not have used that recipe and I could have done better because the recipe that I followed, a lot of that butter fell out of it when it was baking. And I was like, I'd rather the butter be in the panettone, but okay.
So Beck says it's different from pickles. We add carrots and peppers and tomato to the cucumber and make what we call chow chow. Never heard of chow chow. I'm not a tomato fan, but I've never had them pickled. So I
Um,
might
you
like
know,
them.
the thing is that I've had that before, but I've never heard it called chow chow. But like I feel like it's just been called like a cucumber salad with me, which cucumber salad is a pretty generic term. It's pretty good though.
And Persephone said, "Butter, y'all."
Yes.
It's a type of chunky relish. I get that.
Yeah.
Um, you know what relish I had before that I was really on the fence about before I had it, and when I had it, I was just like, oh, that's good." Is like a black olive relish.
Oh, I like black olives, so I'm always happy whatever form they come in. What all was in that?
I'm not sure. Well, I'm not sure what was in it because I'm not a person that can differentiate like ingredients.
Gotcha.
But it was on a tempeh burger,
Oh, okay.
and
I
it
do
was
also
just
love
like
pepper.
that combination was. Oh my god, I could be a vegetarian forever living on that.
It's been a while, but I am a big fan of tempeh in general. I just haven't. You know what? I grocery shop at Aldi, and they don't carry tempeh, so like, I just don't see it, and like out of sight, out of mind. But when I do see it, I like to cook with it.
It is pretty damn good, and I've only had it in the burgers from the gay bar that used to exist.
Okay.
which I am so upset about that it went under during COVID.
Oh, yeah, that took a lot of places out. It sucks. I don't know. Like, I feel like every time I try to go anywhere anymore, I just have to Google to see if it even exists. And yeah,
And
sad.
it was the only, and okay, my city is like the most liberal place in the section of the state, and that was the only LGBT establishment left, and it went under, which means we've got
I
nothing.
I always find that like you cannot rely on anything with that community. Like there are places where I've been that like seem like the most conservative hard edge places that have like a thriving gay community in them. And then like fairly liberal places where there's hardly anything. I don't know what that is.
Maybe they just assume that the whole place is liberal, so you can find someone anywhere. It's like,
That's fair. Yeah.
but it's like, no, I want to.
Right. No, I suck at that. Throw me in a lesbian bar and like just, make sure that yeah, we're cool. I got this.
Throw me in the deep end of a lesbian bar and I'll swim.
Right.
I will dog paddle through lesbian. That is a mental
Also,
picture.
I grew up in I grew up on a gay beach. Where like every establishment, like we just had an entire road that was all gay establishments, and then pretty much wherever else you were in town, there was a gay establishment in sight. We had like a gay newspaper and everything. Most people preferred that newspaper to the straight newspaper. Or like general, I guess I shouldn't call it the straight paper, but like the regular newspaper. But yeah, so like even like coming to Atlanta, where I know there's a lot of gay stuff here, but like I'm still like I don't know where they are and I'm scared, so I'm just gonna stay here. So I would like to one day in life go back to a gay town and just live my best gay life again.
I would love to try it out. I don't look the part anymore.
That's okay. You just go to those places and then you're good.
I just go in there and say, "Hey, can you regay me?"
Right. I mean, that is kind of how it works, isn't it? Sometimes you just need to be regayed. It's a thing.
Oh wow. Yeah, we have all the stuff here because, like I said, it's my town is both liberal and a little on the bougie side. So we have like everything from Walmart, Meijer, Kroger, up to like Whole Foods, Trader Joe's,
Yeah.
Al- Aldi. What is the one? Plum Market. That one's bougie as fuck.
Again, I'm in Atlanta suburbs, so I have literally everything.
Hmm.
Um, like we have like the Korean market and everything. The Korean supermarket that is gigantic, and then like the H Mart. Like yeah, we got like whatever you need. Within like 5 miles of here, I've got an Indian,
Yep.
and a Dominican, and that's another Indian. And then like a Hispanic grocer, like all of them pretty much within walking distance of me. And then like all the regular grocery stores.
Well, there's a big reason why I don't go into the Indian supermarket or grocery
Mhm.
in order to get food, and that's because I don't cook, and all they sell there is ingredients.
Oh, got it. Yes. Yeah. No, that's exactly why we go there. Usually if we're going to any of those places, it's for a spice that we cannot get
Hmm.
at, you know, Publix or wherever.
I can
Or
cook.
like we need a new wok, so we go to Nam De Moon, the Korean place.
Now, don't get me wrong, I can cook, and I can follow a recipe and make amazing shit.
You just
But
choose not to.
how do I eat if I don't cook? I will, well, sometimes I will, you know, cook something on one day in a week and make a batch enough of it so I could eat the same thing from the same pot for like every day that week. Um, but yeah, a lot of it's microwave and stuff. But yeah, I just part of the problem is all my entertainment stuff is nowhere near the kitchen. And in order for me to cook, I have to spend hours away from my computer.
You're also cooking for one, and that can suck a lot.
It really can.
Yeah. I definitely have that issue where like the stuff that I am strongest at with cooking is casseroles. So like if I want to eat the same casserole all week, I'm good. But if I don't, yeah, I'm spending a lot of time on making a meal that is just for one person and just ending up with a crap ton of leftovers.
Or, maybe one week I'll feel like buying a loaf of bread and a bunch of lunch meat.
Yeah. I've been doing a lot of just cheese dinners, cheese and crackers, or like a spinach artichoke dip in a loaf of sourdough, and like this is just a meal. Okay.
But yeah, I don't starve. I definitely don't
Oh.
starve.
Oh, I ran out in the middle of this. Oh, stop you.
But I also have the problem where if I snack, I don't meal.
Yes, I also have that problem, and it can get pretty bad because I don't usually eat at lunch. So if I work too late, I get home at like 4. I have to go to bed at like 8 or 9. I get home and I have a snack because I haven't eaten all day. And then, like, I can't eat dinner. And then I basically have not had a single full meal that day.
Beck says, I eat leftovers, but my hubby won't eat leftovers. See, that's something I've never understood. My dad was like that too.
I know a lot of people who are like that, and I don't get
It's like, are you kidding? Leftovers mean you don't have to cook.
it.
The more leftovers you have, the less you have to cook.
Hmm.
That is like
Especially, like,
gold.
for me, it's really the lunch factor on it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, there's a whole ass meal here for lunch. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I had baked ziti for lunch today because that was leftover. Perfect.
I think I may have gotten forever burnt out on baked ziti.
I mean, I guess it's possible. I eat a lot of baked ziti though.
But then again, I have issues with foods that have tomato sauce in them, and it's a digestive issue.
Oh, got it. That makes sense. Tomatoes can be
Tomato
pretty rough.
tomato acid is just hell on my stomach.
Yes, if I'm having stress issues, which I have lately for obvious reasons, then yes, sometimes tomato is my mortal enemy.
Um, but people are like, "You don't like tomatoes?" No. But what about ketchup? Uh, different beast altogether.
I mean, there's hardly any tomato involved in ketchup.
What about marinara? Same difference.
There's also like a big difference between like a cooked and a raw version of things.
hmm But yeah, I also have gotten these stomach issues. Like my stomach no longer recognizes beef as food.
Yeah.
Um,
A bunch of people are having that issue with long term COVID.
hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, and it's not all beef. Like I can have Salisbury steak. I can have like roast beef as a lunch meat. But if it was like roast beef, a roast type of roast beef, I couldn't eat that. Or hamburger or steak, any of the basically rough meat. My stomach is just like, no, I'm
Got
not
it.
dealing
Yeah.
with that, and it will just sit there in my stomach until my stomach is
Yeah.
like, well, if you're not gonna go down, you're gonna go up because I need the space.
I am lactose intolerant, and like I feel like everybody is a little bit different with lactose intolerance, but for me, like I'm totally fine with milk that's been processed. Any way that it can be processed, as long as it has been processed in some way, I am good. But like regular milk or a bowl of cereal or a milkshake or ice cream, I am dying.
Yeah, I don't get pain with mine, but it gets noisy out the back end.
But like cheese, I can eat all day. I never had a problem with cheese, thank God.
Yeah, because pizza and chili and spaghetti sauce is not the same as actual chunks of tomato.
Yeah. It's
Um,
also for a lot of people, it's a textural thing.
Tomatoes are rather slimy.
They are. I yesterday at work I was putting together a cake that had bananas in it, and we had four people in the department and not a single one of us liked bananas, and we all had the same issue that bananas are just real fucking slimy.
I wouldn't have been able to be in the department.
Do you have a banana allergy?
Yes.
Yeah. We did, this is a new item. It's the first time I've ever made it. Um but I did think it was real weird that we were bringing in a banana item because it's well, we used to have a cake that had bananas in it that hardly anybody ever ordered. Um I worked there for 8 years and I probably made that other cake 7 or 8 times. Um and I think it was discontinued. I honestly don't know. I haven't even looked, but it was the weirdest cake, so nobody ever ordered it. And now we just brought out this banana pudding cake. And like, not only does it have bananas in it, it also has that gross ass banana extract that just like stinks to high hell. So, oh hey, it's Varktech. Um, so yeah, I'm not happy with this cake, and hopefully it does not become popular. It's got banana chips on it. Like they use banana chips as garnish, and I realize that because you're allergic to bananas, you probably don't know this, but they are the weirdest. Like they are rock solid, but chewing into them is like chewing into a jerky. It's the grossest flipping thing ever. I don't understand. Yeah.
No, even I also react to artificial banana flavoring and smells. I got that, but
So no rents for you.
no,
Yeah.
and I didn't actually get develop the allergy until my 20s.
Oh, that's a thing that happens. Do you have a latex allergy or is it just
Yep,
that? Yep. Latex has a lot of comorbidities. How are you with avocados and strawberries?
good with strawberries. Uh, Not really, no real contact with avocado to test it out.
That's fair. Those are both things that like, and again, like you're not like I doubt that anybody would be allergic to all of those things, but they all are comorbid. So So it is not surprising that you were allergic to two of them.
Yep. Latex is not that bad for me. It just makes my skin red.
That's good. Like it's a hard allergy to avoid a lot, so it's good that like it's not anything terrible if you do accidentally come in contact with it.
And I've worked in pharmacy, not just in pharmacy, but
Yes.
in IV production. And getting around latex for latex allergy patients is a circus act.
I've heard that, yeah. I I've had a manager at the bakery who had an actual gluten allergy, and so she had to wear like these gigantic gloves on her hands just to like do her job. And I was like, why the hell would you ever even take a job at a bakery with a gluten allergy? And I guess it
That's
was something that she developed later, but like after she was already working in a bakery. But I would absolutely not. Like, okay, now is the time for me to start looking for another job.
that would be like me taking a job swimming through mashed bananas.
Yes. Yes. And I mean, this is grocery store. It's not like we couldn't put her in another department, you know? Like
Hmm.
it's not like it would have absolutely devastated her career if she had to go to another department.
Yeah, it's
But she was happy there.
I know Kat works in a big chain grocery. Well, it's grocery plus other things. Kind of like how Walmart is.
Yeah.
But she has to work in the clothing section, and because she has the onion and garlic allergy,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
and she can't be near it, so she can't go to the produce section at all. And she has to flat out tell them when they forget and say, "Can you work register?" She's like, until
Mhm.
someone brings onions through,
Yeah, no,
and they're
I
like, "Oh
cannot.
wait."
Yeah, it's hard working in that industry when you've got allergies like that.
Hmm. See, for me, I would be safe working in the produce because as long as the banana has not peeled, I'm fine. I can
That's
touch the
good.
outside. I can be around the outside. But like if someone dropped the case and smashed a bunch,
Mhm.
it'd be over.
And just wearing gloves wouldn't be enough.
No, I can't breathe it in.
Oh, right. You had said that. Yeah. So yeah, that is not a place for you to work either.
No. Okay, enjoy the movie time. I think we're gonna be done
Yes, I
pretty
need to make
soon.
dinner, so I need to go soon.
Yeah. And we got this is the third week in a row that we only got two sprints in.
Well, you
And
know what? That will be like New Year's resolution. We're going to be
even
better about that in the new year.
even with two of us,
Even with two of us, yes. What we did instead was talk about incest.
good
It's
night,
fine. We're
everybody.
totally normal people. This is fine.
Let's see, what is a week from today? Seven. So it's the second, right?
Yes. No, it is the first.
Oh yeah, because there's 31 days.
Yes. But like nobody cares about New Year's Day.
Yeah, especially like mid-afternoon, New Year's
Oh,
Day.
exactly. Like all the New Year's stuff is over.
All right, so we'll catch you next week. Do we want to do outros?
You don't need to do outros.
Okay. It was a good time. It was good
Yes.
spending the holiday doing nothing holiday related.
Last show of the year. It's how it should be, especially for 2021.
Yeah. All
Let
right.
this just be over soon.
Goodbye, everybody, and thanks for coming. We'll see you next week.